everybody, Little Prepper Lady here. Today is Thursday. It's May 23rd, 2019. And before I get into the topic of today's video, I want to go over some housekeeping tips. So just a reminder, tomorrow is actually the end of my giveaway. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when you have to be subscribed to my channel. You have to like Monday's video, and you have to comment on it in order to be entered into my contest. Now, like I said before, my video tomorrow evening will not be going up until after 7 p.m. when I get home from work. So keep an eye out for that later on in the evening when I'm able to actually sit down and draw the names for my giveaway at that point in time. Also, YouTube has been messing with us hugely. Me even, being a brand new channel and being really small, YouTube has been taking subscribers away. I will like somebody's comment and I'll go in the next day and that will be taken away and I have to re-like it again. So just make sure that if you want to see more videos, you're being subscribed to my channel and you're hitting that notification button, and just check that every day because they're already on to what I'm doing. They don't like it, so they're messing with all of that. So with all of that out of the way, let's get into today's video. So obviously you see my setup here on the table. What I did was went ahead and put my preps that I had in the freezer for the past 3 days into these Mylar bags. So I'm going to go over the step-by-step process with you guys and help you to understand how I do it and how it's a good way to package your items up in order to have them for long-term storage. Now, once I seal these up, they will be good when I put them into my food-grade storage buckets, which, yes, it doesn't have to be food-grade storage buckets. That's fine once it's in a Mylar bag. However, that is going to be better off for you in the long run because it does have a seal. And I'm actually going to show you that. I know it's probably hard to see from where the camera is, but there is a seal inside this lid here. So once I have it inside of my bucket, I'm going to put it on, screw it, and then the only way to be able to remove it is by taking this tab and pulling it around, unless you have a tool to be able to open it so that you can save this and reuse it again, which my boyfriend's pretty clever with that, and he's behind the camera right now. Thank you, babe. So let's get started. As far as the Mylar bags, just so that you are aware, now I have 3 different sizes here. And this one right here has all of my spices in it. This is kind of the best way to do spices is in these little bags, since it would take a lot of spices to fill up a full huge bag. So this is what they look like. They are a 1/4 gallon bag. Now, every single one of the Mylar bags that I have purchased is actually a Ziploc Mylar bag, and you can see that on the top. So when I show you how to seal these up with a flat iron, what you'll do when you go to open them is there's a little pull tab and you will just pull that portion of it off, and then you'll have the Ziploc so that you can go in, use what you need, and then you can reseal it back up and it will be good, and fresh in the bag. I found that doing that is going to be a lot more beneficial considering, if you are using the ones that don't have the Ziplocs, once you open it and you don't have the electricity to be able to seal it back up again, then your stuff's not going to stay fresh unless you have a way to be able to do that. So the Ziploc is definitely the way to go as far as that is concerned. The second size is this right here. It looks like this when it comes in the mail. This is a 1/2 gallon size Mylar bag. And then the last one, the more giant ones, are for like my pasta, rice, and beans. Those are the gallon size bags. Now they do go up to 2 or even 5 gallon bags, and I believe you can get all of them with the Ziploc on it. So that's just the way that I do it. I like it. I think it's a good way to do it. So I put everything in here, but before I did that, what I did, and you'll be able to see, I'll just pick one up here. This is actually a pretty good example. So this is a 1/2 gallon bag. I write what the item is that's in it and the date that I packaged it. I also write on the back how many pounds or how many boxes if it's pasta, so I'll show you one of those. This specifically has rotini in it, and on the back I have put that there's 2 pounds. And this one is non-fat dry milk. This yields 3 gallons of milk. So if you're putting that information in there and you have in your preps, the dry food measuring cups, then you can just use those to scoop out of your Mylar bags and make what you need by doing it that way. So it's important that you're putting what amount you have in the bag so you can keep track of that information. Another good thing, all of my spices, I've kept the containers and it has the little shaker portion of it. So once I open it up, I can pour some out, put it in the shaker container. We can shake this right on our food, and then we can seal the bag up, and we're only using what's in here first. That'll be resealed and it'll be good to go. So also for the dry milk or anything that has instructions with it, if you're going to do like a pasta side, I'm going to be packaging some of those up in Mylar bags as well. I'm going to be saving the instructions so I know what it is that I need to do when I go to use it, because it could be 10 years from now, it could be 20 years from now, it could be 30 years from now before I open these up, and I'm not going to remember how to do it from today until that point. So having the instructions, really good point. These over here are my oxygen absorbers, and I'm actually going to go over with you guys what you put in what. Now, you don't have to get the larger oxygen absorbers. They are a little bit more expensive. In here, because I've already done some with the smaller ones, I'm going to open it up and I'll show you guys that. But there is a website. So I got everything from USA Emergency Supply. They have on there how many of the oxygen absorbers you're supposed to be using in your packages. So, for instance, in a gallon bag, if you're going to be using the smaller oxygen absorber, and these are 100 cc oxygen absorbers in this bag, you would use 1 to 2 in most instances, maybe 3 or 4, just depends on how full you have the bag. Some of these bags are really, really full. Some of them aren't quite as full. So, for instance, this one is only about 3/4 of the way full. I'll probably only use 2 oxygen absorbers in there. Also, I will be putting in some bay leaves with that as well. So let's get into it. Let's get one of these bags sealed up so that you guys understand how this works. And then, you know, if you have any questions, I obviously want you to leave your comments in the link below so that I can answer any questions that you have. So I'm just going to take 1, maybe 2, just depends on how I feel. That was a little one, so we're gonna do, you know, a couple of pieces in there. These are to deter the mice. They don't like the smell of it. We're gonna just shake it up, make sure it's in there nice and good. Now, this has to be used within the next 15 minutes. So literally as soon as I'm done with this, I'm gonna do my outro little thingy, and I'm gonna let you guys go so that I don't waste my oxygen absorbers I have in here. So I'm gonna just tear this off. And sometimes I've sealed it way too far down so I can't use the Ziploc portion again, but I'm still gonna use this bag again once I open it, because the Ziploc portion won't be good, but what's still left in there, I'll just seal here, and then I can keep going down. That way I'm not putting it in a new bag and wasting all of my bags. Yes, I know you can take these and put them into a mason jar, and you can seal it that way to protect it from getting access to the oxygen in the air and, you know, using it all up, and then it's useless for your preps. But I like to just keep it in the bag that I have it in and just keep resealing it. So this is, you know, only 1/4 of a bag, and it says on the website that you only need to use 1, so we're going to stick that nice and deep down in there, and I'm going to just show you. I just put it inside the bag, shake it up really good, and then what you're going to do is squeeze it. You want to try to get as much of the air out of the bag as possible. And then what I do is I fold it over, just like this, and then I will seal the bag, the Ziploc portion of it, all the way across, and I'll just make sure that I've gone over it a couple of times, make sure that it's nice and sealed. I use a flat iron. We all straighten our hair. We all have girls that straighten their hair, so flat iron works great for this. But remember, you don't want to be using a flat iron on this Ziploc portion, otherwise it defeats the entire purpose of getting that type of a bag. So essentially all I do is just hold it on there for a couple of seconds on one side, hold it on there for a couple of seconds on the other side, and then just to be safe, I take it and I just go right across like that a couple of times just to make sure it's got a really good seal. And that's it. It's all nice and sealed up. This will suck all of the air out of it with the oxygen absorber in there, so it'll be like it's freeze dried and sucked right in nice and tight. But that's essentially how you do that. Like I said, I gotta make sure that these oxygen absorbers don't go bad. So any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the link below. And as always, guys, Remember, everything happens for a reason. Whether you're having a good day, you're having a bad day, you're in a good situation or a bad situation, you're on that journey for a reason. Just stick with it and everything's going to be okay. Always also remember, forget about the past. The past doesn't matter. There isn't anything that you can do about that. Be focused on the future, but be living in the now. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We all cannot be here tomorrow. Be living, be loving, be laughing, and be enjoying your life right now while you stay focused on the future. That's all I've got for today, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.